Good morning, everyone. I'm Kevin. I'm with the company for 5 years now, and I'm equally excited to be part of this event and to take this session on user management and sharing. Before we dive into our product, let's talk about organization, like understand from its perspective. Like each organization is different. It has different organization structures and layers of management. The work culture could be different, right? Let's go ahead and see a couple of examples, like a similar common. Let's just see some of the organizations. So here is one of a familiar organization in US. As you can see, it has like the CEO was a red color on it, and he pretty much has hands over the organization, and he gets his work done. It's Apple. So there's another one. Here you could see like multiple like department heads at the top, where they depend on those multiple department heads, and it further drills down to departments and the employees. And this organization name is Google. There's another one. As you could see, I mean, it has pretty organized structures with their department heads reporting to the CEO. It is Microsoft. So yeah, so the key takeaway here is each organization is different. Their business and their approach towards their business is different. But the layers of each organization, it comes down to these components. It'll have people where you'll have a defined organization structure on it. It'll have a defined process where they deal with the data. So let's take the people from this components. Like you know your people, like what they do in your organization and the level of access to the, I mean, in the organization and to the data provided to them. You know what, like how to set this up. So how we define this in CRM is what we're going to talk about using user management. I'm going to talk about like how to set up the permissions for your employees using profiles and implementing the hierarchy using roles and adding them as users in your CRM organization. So profiles. So you as the owner or the CEO knows what level of permission a user needs to have in the organization. So you can define what each user can do in the CRM, where you can allow or restrict various permissions starting from the module to the field level access for the users in the organization. So you have these two standard default profiles, which we have in Zoho CRM. One is the admin. The administrator will have complete access, as in he can do any changes in the CRM. But when it goes to the standard profile, he has the user who has the standard profile as a restricted access, unlike the admin. You also have the option to create custom profiles based on the role your users play in your organization. So, for instance, you don't want a sales employee from your organization to delete any leads or export leads from the organization. So then you can create a custom profile and allow or restrict those permissions. So I've used the salesperson as an example here, and I've tried creating a profile. And I've removed or restricted the permissions to export or delete records from Zoho CRM. You can also set the permission even on the field level. Now let's see how to do it. So this is the home screen of Zoho CRM. So you need to access setup pretty much to customize or to set anything in your Zoho CRM account. You can go to setup, and under security controls of users and control permissions. You can create so I'm going to do for the sales employee. So here, the permissions are segregated based on different sections like module to set up permissions. It's just a click away. So if you want to remove the complete access, like if you want to restrict your user doing any certain actions, it can be from module level or to any other permissions listed there. So if I don't want the salesperson to see any of my opportunities like deals information, I can completely take off the option. So it's just a click away. So by doing this, you will not have the visibility of the data which you upload in the deals module. So likewise, you can customize it based on your needs and create the profile and roles. It determines what each user can see in your Zoho CRM. Unlike profiles where you define what each user can do, like the level of access or the permission is using profiles. In roles, you can set the data visibility for the users in your organization. So you can determine the level of visibility a user needs to have in the CRM account by implementing your organization structure in Zoho CRM. Here is a typical example of an hierarchy, like an organization structure. It starts from CEO, and it further breaks down to departments, goes to the front level employee, the salespersons. In most of the organizations, the sales split happens based on regions. Like the sales employee from California doesn't need to have access to any of the leads which belongs to the other sales employee from different regions. It creates rift. But when it goes up the ladder, like for the sales manager of USA, he needs to have access to all these leads for him to create, report, and forecast the revenue. And it goes up the ladder to CEO. So the data visibility originates from the CEO and it goes down the ladder. So I've implemented that hierarchy within Zoho CRM. So I haven't created a role yet for the sales employee from Florida. So let's see how we do it. So again, you're on the home screen of Zoho CRM, and the option to create custom roles, it's right next to the option where we did for profiles. So I'm going to create a role for the sales employee from Florida. And he reports to his sales manager who takes care of the USA. And you have an option here which says share data with peers. For instance, if there is multiple sales employees working on a same region, and if you want to share the leads within those users, you can use that option called share data with peers. And then you can save it. So the role Sales Florida has been created under the hierarchy for Sales Manager USA. In most of the organizations, the current profile and role setup should be adequate, right? But there are instances where you want to extend the level of data visibility within your users in the organization. For instance, you would want your sales employees to see all the contacts in the CRM so they don't end up creating duplicates or redundant data. So it can't be achieved using roles and profiles since you can't extend it based on module levels, and that's where the advanced user management comes in place. So you can do it using data sharing settings, where you can extend the visibility of the data from the module to the individual record level sharing. And it overrides the current role and profile setup. It extends the data visibility for the users from module to the record level sharing. So by default, the data sharing settings for the modules will be set to private. I've picked the example contacts here, which I said earlier. So as you can see there, the permission for contacts, the module level is set to private, which means the current role and profile setup will be in place. So I'm going to customize this. I'm going to make the contacts module as public, read only. So all the users in the organization gets access, the visibility for the records which are entered in the contacts module. So these are the options you have, like public, read, write, delete. There's another option there. Before you set this option, public, read, write, delete, you got to be conscious, because if it is in small organization, like 3 to 5 employees, it's okay to have this public, read, write, delete option configured. But if it is a large organization which has like more than 10 employees, I would suggest to go with public read only, because you wouldn't know which user have deleted the records. There is possibilities of deleting or updating records since the data from that module is public. You also have the option, like for instance, you would want the users from different roles to see, you would want users from different roles to see the data, like a common data, like for instance, contacts. So you can create groups wherein you can club users from different roles, and you can add them, I can put them in one group, and you can share data with them. So in this scenario, I've created a group where I've added a user, like the VP Finance Department and Director of Sales. So by this role hierarchy, the data will not be shared within these users. So since they are part of different roles. So I've created a group where I put them in, and I want to share the data with them. And it goes down to the record level sharing, where you can share the individual record as well, not just based on the modules, even the individual record. A good example for this would be like you would want your salesperson and the support people, you would have them working on a same prospect, right? Like the salesperson need to have access to that prospect to follow up with that prospect and convert them to a potential. And you would also want the support person from your team to provide demos or trainings for that prospect. So you would want these two users to have access to that respective record. So on these scenarios, you can use record level sharing. So it can be used only if a module is set to public, and it supports these 3 modules: accounts, contacts, and potentials. So I have used a company here as an example where I would want both users to have access to it. So I'm sharing that respective record. You have the option at the top right hand corner of that record to share with the users you want in the organization. So you have the options there, like the level of permission you want to provide for that user. And finally, territory management. So you can automate the process of sharing records within the users using territory management. It can be based on various factors, like it can be based on geography or industry or any other criteria you have, and automate the process of sharing the records. So you have configured profile, roles, and you have set up the user management in Zoho CRM. And now how you apply this while adding users is what we're going to see now. Let me show you how to do it. So while adding a user, you have to enter the basic information about the user, like his first, last name, his email address, to which the invitation email will be sent. And you can assign the role and profile which you have created for that organization. So, yep. Just that's pretty much it, guys.